beautiful sunny day here on the Adriatic coast of Italy. This is the Misano MotoGP circuit as we welcome you to round 2 of 7 of the 2023 Italian Formula 4 Championship, presented as ever by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy. Well, the cars are on the grid, a little bit of haze in the air here this weekend, but there is, well, I'll say no chance of rain. There's a pretty good chance we'll have sunshine for all 3 races. This is the first of 3 races here this weekend. Great to see the crowds back and the cars are on the grid, all 33 of them. In a moment, we'll go down and have a quick word with our pole setter, Tuukka Tappinen, the Ferrari Junior. That's him to the right of screen, who took pole position in qualifying last night. To the left is the Red Bull Junior, Arvid Lindblad, who takes the championship lead after the first round at Imola. But first, let's hear from the Finn, the pole setter, Tuukka Tappinen.
A fantastic response from a disappointing end to the first round. Pole position for race here at Misano. So how do you approach the start into turn 1?
I believe it will be good. Start is important, and then after tire management. So let's do our best.
Thank you.
Kiitos, Tuukka Tappinen, and welcome to our Finnish viewers watching live up in Scandinavia, where it was actually snowing yesterday in Tuukka's home nation, and a few Finns here at the circuit as well, which is great to see. The cars are on the circuit. This is the first of 3 races here this weekend. Tuukka took pole position yesterday in qualifying. Arvid Lindblad is the championship leader for the Prema Power team. He raced twice in 2022 for the Van Amersfoort racing team. Now he's with Prema, but the Van Amersfoort racing team is being led by Brando, who's down on the grid with Laura Colla.
Brando, you were fast in qualifying. P4 is not pole, but just a few tenths from P1. Are you able to match the tree in front of you in racing conditions?
I think so, yeah. I will try to do everything, drive clean, and maximize the opportunities to bring home the best results possible.
Thank you.
Second year in the championship for Brando, by the way, and he is one of the championship favourites. Had one good result at DNF, was actually taken out in controversial circumstances in the final race of race 3, or race 4 it was in fact, at Imola. When I say taken out, let's be fair, it was an incident, a racing incident where 2 drivers were racing and fighting for a podium position. In the dying stages of the races, they led to the checkered flag. So the teams leave the grid here at the Misano MotoGP circuit. This is the grid, and you just heard from the pole from Finland. Tuukka Tappinen starts out of grid 1. There's the championship leader, the Londoner Lindblad, out of grid 2. Jimmy James out of 3, just 0.8 from pole position. And Brando, who we just heard from a few moments ago, the first of the non-Prema Power team cars. Ugo, the American, out of 5. Zachary David out of 6 for US Racing. His teammate Kasper Stuka, who took the first race win at Imola. And from Abu Dhabi, Rashid Al-Dahedi. John Marco Pradell. Good, strong run for one of 3 3 Australians in the field. The Sydney sider is alongside Ivan Dominguez. Car 17, it was his 17th birthday yesterday. Aurelia Nobel's Ricky Lou for the US racing team out of car 66. Nicola Lacorte, race winner at Imola. Ariel Elkan from Haifa in Israel. James Agozzi, who wrapped up the WSK Supermaster Series karting series last weekend at Cremona for the Tony Kart racing team. And Matthias Verheer alongside Valentin Claus, Ethan Isher, Jack Beaton. That's the Queenslander. Il Siciliano Alfio back on 20. He was P2 in the final race 2 weeks ago at Imola. Biron Bhakti, David Lorini, Kim Waring, Tina Hausman back in grid 24. She was constantly in the top 15 throughout practice. Matteo Quintarelli, Rafael Nadak, the 2 R-Race GP drivers. Victoria Blockiner. Frederick Lund is back with AKM Motorsport. The Dane on grid 28, Manuel Quantum Carlo Frasinetti. He's back after that tremendous crash at Imola. Ismail Ahmed, Guido Lucchetti, Airflow Racing. And Akshay Bora did not set a time in qualifying. So watch for the Indian American from Singapore for the German US racing team, who finished P2 with the Irishman Alex Dunn in 2022. Akshay, the car was stuck in pit lane with a transmission issue yesterday. He did not set a time and will have to come from grid 33. Starting just behind Guido Lucchetti for the Airflow Racing team, the team managed by former Minardi and Toro Rosso Formula 1 team manager Gianfranco Fantuzzi. In car 63, that is Guido. There is Rashid Al-Daheri, the Huawei-backed car 14 for Yasheed Racing. That is John Marco Pradell from the northern beaches of Sydney in Australia. Good strong run for him. Grid 9 for the US racing team. Ivan Dominguez, car 17. It was his 17th birthday yesterday. One pole position in 2022. The boy from Portugal, out of grid 10. As they come through Caro curves up into the final turn 16 coming onto the straight. A beautiful day here at Misano, the MotoGP circuit. The World Superbike Championship race to take place here in a month's time from, I think it's today, the first weekend of June here at Misano. What a glorious sight this is. The world's most competitive junior motor racing series. Round 2 of 7 for 2023. There is Aurelio Nobels behind in car 16. As Ivan lights up the rear Pirellis on the Van Amersfoort car 17. Aurelio Nobels, a really good strong run first time out for the Brazilian Belgian. And she starts on the 6th row of the grid. Raced in the Brazilian F4 Championship, which also kicked off 2 weeks ago. But out front, on pole position, you look at the Finn, the former World Kart Racing champion for the Prema Power team, Tuukka Tappinen. Manuel Quandam Carlos slots into position just ahead of Ismail Ahmed. That was Lucchetti and Border at the back of the pack out of grid 33. Round 2 of the Italian Formula 4 Championship 2023. The green flag, the 5 red lights. We race for the first time here at Misano. A perfect start from the Finn. From pole position, Tuukka Tappinen leads his teammates down into turn 1. As we look at Pradell up the inside. Good start from John Marco. But it is Tuukka Tappinen from Arvid Lindblad. It is the Prema Power team. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good start from Rashid, who's moved up a couple of positions as the championship leader. Swarms all over the back of the pole sitter. Tuukka Tappinen, Lindblad looking to lead on the very first lap of this 30-minute plus 1 lap race. Clean start here at Misano. The field go down through the Rio curves, the second Rio curves. And then the infield straight as we lose one cut going very wide at the exit. It was James Agozzi, it looked like. There's Matias Verheerder on the outside as they come through. Turn 8, La Quercia for the first time. Lindblad trying to attack for the lead. But right behind him, he's got James Wharton. Fastest driver on the circuit at Imola in round 1 was the Australian. Frustrated with only a 5th place finish and a couple of DNFs. James Wharton looking for revenge, one of the championship favourites, the United Arab Emirates champion. And he goes up the inside of his teammate, the championship leader, Arvid Lindblad. Down into turn 14. Lindblad was looking to attack for the lead, but now he's got Wharton all over the back of him. There is the American Ugo Uguchuku. It is the Prema Power team. This is dominant. They complete the opening lap of the race, and the team from Vicenza, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The Finn from the Englishman, the Australian, and the American. Casper is right there as well for the US racing team. Trying to break the Prema Power team stranglehold. Car 37 goes wheel to wheel with Brando Babauer, and the Italian holds off the pole. Nice racing between Brando and Casper. There is Rashid right behind. Casper up the inside of Brando. Watch out the heady on the outside. He'll get the run firstly on the pole. Ducks back on the inside. Goes wheel to wheel, almost the front wing of the Emiratis car. Taken out by Kasper Stuka. The pole held his own as they go down into Quercia for the second time. Clean start to race 1 of 3 here at Misano, although as I say that, we are getting word from race control that the start is under investigation. An incident further back in the pack involving Ivan Dominguez, David Larini, and Zachary David has seen those 3 drivers pull down into pit lane. We'll try and get you an update on those drivers in just a moment as Tuukka Tappinen leads by 9/10 of a second as they go down the back straight. There is James Wharton on the charge. He's the all-road management driver, the Australian in position 3. There is Casper now having to fight with Rashid Al-Daheri, the Emirati, the 5-time WSK kart racing champion. A couple of top 10 finishes to start his car racing career. The Yasheed car from Abu Dhabi. And there is Kasper Stuka, the pole for the US racing team. Zachary David is still stuck down in pit lane. As the field fan out, Al-Daheri P7 from Nicola Lacorte. He's up to P8 from John Marco Credell. Aurelia Nobels, she's up into P10 ahead of Valentine Cluis. Car 10 in 11th place, Matthias Verheerder. Ricky Lou, Alfio Spinner, the Sicilian from grid 20. He's in P14. We'll get a glimpse of the BPM racing car of the Sicilian imminently. As Brando Badoer, car 15. In position 5, James Zagozzi now, after that tough start for the American. The 2-time WSK kart racing champion, as we mentioned just briefly in our introduction. 6 days ago at the Cremona circuit, south of Milan, racing for the Tony Kart racing team. He took out his 2nd WSK title, winning the WSK Supermaster Series. Oh boy, up and over one of the AKM cars. A big end for end. A monster crash for Tina Hausman. The safety car imminent has been deployed immediately. Wow, that was a big one for Tina Hausman. Let's hope, let's pray she's okay. Up and over into the gravel. A monstrous crash for car 21. The AKM Motorsport car up and over big time. Huge crash for Tina Hausman. The safety car out onto the circuit. We'll try and get you a better replay of what's happened. There's Valentine Cluis going through in car 10. A monstrous crash for Tina Hausman in car 21 for the AKM Motorsport team. The Swiss driver, one of 3 girls racing here this weekend. That's good to see. Not the car, but the fact that Tina is okay. She is shaken though. Whoa. After the monstrous crash we had off the start line between Frassinetti and Ugrachuko at Imola, that's not something that we wanted to see. But we are happy to see that Tina steps out of car 21 and she's okay. So the race has been neutralized behind the safety car. With 4 laps complete, it is Tuukka Tappinen from Lindblad, Wharton and Tina being helped away by the medical team. She is walking, she does seem to be fine. The new generation Tartas T421 chassis. Huge credit to Gianfranco De Bellis, Giovanni Delfino and the team at Tartas. As we look at Rafael Narak down in pit lane, that was the other driver involved, one of the 2 RACE GP drivers. You can see the rear wing, the RACE GP team trying to repair it and get him back out onto the circuit. Even if it is just a preparatory run for race 2 later on this evening. Rafael Narak, the Frenchman in car 76. And Tina Hausman, as Alfio Spinner goes through, car 9 into 14th position. Just getting back, this is the new generation car, the Tartas T421 chassis. 2nd season. After the first car served us incredibly well since the inception of the Italian F4 Championship in 2014. Safety car coming in this lap as Jack Beaton's father and grandparents over here at Misano from the bottom of the world don't know they're on TV. I'm sure his family and friends back home are about to let them know. Jack in 17th position as the safety car comes into pit lane. The new generation Tartas T421 chassis introduced in 2021. And after that huge end-for-end for Tina Hausman coming together with Rafael Narak, both drivers are fine. Thankfully, Tina out of the car. As we get ready to go back green this time, there is Ethan Isher in car 27 behind the aforementioned Queenslander. Jack Beaton, Matteo Quintarelli's up into P16 behind Kim Wa Ring, and the Sicilian Alfio Spinner, the leader from pole position, to Katapanen, who had 9/10 of a second over the championship leader, the Londoner Arvid Lindblad. They come out of the Caro curves into the final corner, turn 16 onto the start-finish line. Already a good start from Arvid Lindblad. And the green flag flies, and for the second time today, we race green. Tappinen, Lindblad, and Jimmy James in position 3. Good start from Brando in P5. He's got Kasper Stuka breathing down his neck, and he's trying to get by the American, Ugo Ugachukwu. Matias Ferreira, 2 positions outside the top 10 at the moment. The top Brazilian is Aurelia Nobels as Brando makes a big move down the inside. Tries to take the American. Ugo closes the door on the Italian. There's Matias Ferreira under attack from Ricky Liu, Alfio Spinner, Kim Wa-Reng. Ricky Liu has a big look down the inside. Aurelia Nobels on the outside. Oh, Menino do Brasil goes wheel to wheel with Menina do Brasil. Matias and Aurelia, the 2 Brazilians, go wheel to wheel. They fight for the final position inside the top 10 as Tuka Tappinen goes wide coming onto the back straight. An opportunity for Arvid Lindblad, who gets the slipstream, but likewise, James and Ugo behind. Lindblad has to defend. James says no problem. He tries the outside. Watch the American in P4. Tappinen again pulls clear of this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place, and 6th place as well. There is Kasper Stuka. There is Rashid trying to make a move on the inside. Can he do it? Not for the moment. Fabulous racing in race 103 here this weekend as Brando goes off the road. Thankfully, finally someone has listened. You noticed that, didn't you? There are no sausage curves on the exit of turn 16. There is Ugo in car 3. Great run here from Rashid Al-Bahedi in car 14. Also for the Prema Power team, the Yas Heat car. Beautifully presented, back by Huawei, and Rashid, car 14 in position 7. Behind is Leconte, he's up at the 8 from Klus and Pradell. Now the 2nd Australian inside the top 10. There's the first one. His name's James Wharton, car 13. He's in position 3. Spinner goes on by Aurelia Nobels. There's Ferreira on the outside. Ferreira goes very wide. And it looks as though the Sicilian, who is carving through the field like a hot knife through butter, has taken both of the Brazilians. Alfio Spinner now up into position 10. He's taken Aurelia. Ferreira, the Alpine F1 Junior Academy driver, just behind for the Van Amersfoort racing team. Ferreira in car 7. Then we go to Quintarelli, Jack Beaton, Frassinetti. From the back of the pack, Frassinetti from that almighty start line crash at Imola. Car 18 in position 18. But still the Finn, Tuka Tappinen leads the way. The gap 0.88 of a second as you look at Ugo heading Rashid. Brando, position 4, goes wide once again at the exit of turn 16. The Van Amersfoort racing driver about to be attacked by the pole for the German-US racing team. Kasper Stuka again, this battle rages on for positions 4 and 5. There's Valentin Lewis in the background, car 10 for the PHM racing team. Kasper, deep under brakes, swarming all over the back of the VAR team. Car that is, the VAR car, the team that won the title with Ollie Behrman in 2021. The current Formula 2 driver. 2 years prior, it was the Norwegian, another current Formula 2 driver, Dennis Hauger, who took the 2019 championship for the Dutch team. There is the Sicilian Alfio Spinner. Kim Wa-Reng, Aurelia Nobels, the 2 Brazilians running together. Matias Ferreira and Aurelia. They're in positions 13 and 14 at the moment. So the gap 0.7 of a second. Lindblad finds some momentum, does the Londoner, the Red Bull Junior. As we see Kasper in the background, fighting with Ugo, flat through the back part of the circuit. Just over 200 kilometres an hour. That is the warning flag for the Queenslander, Jack Beaton. In car 45, he's in position 17, fighting with Ricky Lou and Ethan Isha. Third season in the Italian Championship for Kasper Stuka. It is make or break for the pole. He started 2023 with victory in the Formula Winter Series down in the Iberian Peninsula for the German team. Won the first race of the season. Runs wide that time. And that gives an opportunity for the American Ugo Ugutuko. Rashid in the background. As we approach the first half of 3 races here this weekend. Round 2 of 7, the Italian Formula 4 Championship for 2023. The Finn from pole position, the championship leader behind, down into La Quercia. Wharton, by the way, there is Kasper in car 37, make or break for the pole this year. Victory in the first round of the championship at Imola. He also took a couple of wins in 2022 as his Irish teammate Alex Dunn finished P2 as runner-up in the championship. That is John Marco Pradel. Second race in the Italian series for the Sydney sider. And at the moment, he's in the top 10. Good drive from John Marco, also for the German US racing team. James closes up onto the back of Lindblad. Ugo, that massive start line crash when the clutch failed, the engine stalled. He was collected at 142 k's an hour by Andrea Frasinetti. Unsighted, both drivers were fine as we get back to the strength of the new generation Tata's T421 chassis. Frasinetti, car 18, position 19. Ugo, car 3, position 6. Down into the first, Rio curves. VK in car 10 for the PHM racing team. Valentin Plus in the Kai back machine. There is John Marco Pradel just behind the 2 German team cars, PHM Racing, head of US Racing, of John Marco Pradel. The gap down to 0.5 of a second between the 2 Prema teammates. Tappinen, Lindblad, and James Wharton just 0.4 of a second back. And Brundle, car 15, trying to break the stranglehold, the front trio for the Prema Power team. Brundle in contention for a podium in the final race at Imola 13 days ago. Ended in the gravel. Let's go back further in the pack. Guido Lucchetti, an ambitious move, goes around, avoids everyone and everything in car 63, continues on. Tried to make a pass on David Larini and stayed out of the gravel. Nicely done for the series rookie, the debutant. This one, not so nice. And the second R8 car is in the gravel. Matteo Quintarelli, the Dubai-based Italian, has continued on, but he's lost 11 seconds in that moment. We have lost Bora, unfortunately, from the back of the pack. He has retired. Narak Lundi's out. Zach David and, of course, Tina Hausman with that frightening rollover earlier on in the race. Valentin Plus and John Marco Pradel. Driver coach, driver mentor Jamie Rush. That's the Rush performance you see on the side of the Australian's car. Trying to get by Valentin Plus, the PHM car, the PHM team racing with heavy hearts, of course, after the tragic loss of their former team manager Vito van Koireren over the New Year's. Valentin in position 9, Arvid in position 2. The gap stays half a second between the Finn, the Londoner, and the Australian. The first Italian in this. The Italian Championship is still Brundle for the Dutch Van Amersfoort racing team. We'll check the gap as they go down the back straight. Call it 0.6 of a second. Just over 200 k's an hour here at the Misano MotoGP circuit. As we look at Ugo, watch the American. Locks up the front right, too far back to make a move that time on Kasper. Ugo Chukul, the driver from New York, USA, position 6 in car 3. Kasper 37 in 5. Arbor, the multiple WSK kart racing champion, the WSK Euro Series, the WSK Supermaster Series. Protege of Oliver Rowland, Formula E, Formula 2 driver, who's looked after Arbor for the best part of a decade in his young racing career. Now a Red Bull Junior, and he's just ahead of the Ferrari Junior. I say just because the gap is down to 0.3 of a second. James on the back of Arvid Lindblad. But the pole sitter, the Finn, controls the pace. He controls the race. Tuukka Tappinen. There is Brundle, whose teammate just sets the fastest lap of the race. 1:35.299 for Ivan Dominguez, who's down in 17th place in car 17, just a position of Frasinetti, car 18, in 18th at 35.2, almost into the 34s. In the opening race of 3 here this weekend at Misano, round 2 of the Italian F4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy. They race down the back straight. The gap 0.60 between Tappinen and Lindblad. Wharton, that's Rashid going through, still in 7th place. Here's an opportunity for Wharton. Watch him dive up the inside, slides on the exit, and that cost him just 1/10 of a second. So the pass was not on then. We passed 2/3 race distance. Casper closes up on the back of Brundle. They run line astern. The gap is down to 0.4 of a second. So Wharton can see that Lindblad is actually catching Tappinen. The two of them will fight their teammate for the race lead imminently. There is Ugo, still frustrated, trying to go by the pole. Kasper Stuka has a look up the inside. Rashid tries to draw himself into this battle between Ugo Chuko and car 3 for the Prema Power team, and Kasper Stuka, car 37 for US Racing. Brundle racing on through in position 4, up into turn 8. This is La Quercia into Tramonto, which literally translates into the Sunset Corner, which we'll see later on this evening for race 2 here at Misano, where Arvid Lindblad, incidentally, will start from pole position for the moment. The Brit in position 2. The Finn P1, the gap 0.4 of a second. There's Wharton, Babuea, Rashid going through. Nicola Lacorte, another good run for the Tuscan, position 8. Took his maiden victory in the championship. A popular win it was as well for Nicola Lacorte. Car 47 also for the Prema Power team, the Chetala back car. As we go back further in the pack, this is Matias Ferreira fighting with Aurelio Nobels. The two Brazilians go wheel to wheel. Let's hope they can keep it clean. Oh, just fabulous racing between Nobels and Matias Ferreira. Right behind was also Matteo Quintarelli. Sorry, Ricky Lure was, who's joining himself into that battle as well. So the final third of the race, and no one is making their move yet. The gap down to 0.3 of a second. No one has made an error, to be fair, as well. Down into turn 8 on lap 14 of race 1 of 3. James Wharton, position 3, took multiple podiums in 2022 and started the year with victory in the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship. Still looking for his maiden breakthrough victory in the Italian Series. Brundle slides sideways on the exit, burns the Pirelli tyres. And off the road, Ismail Ahmed fighting with Victoria Blockina. Victoria, the Moscovite, she takes the Uzbek. Victoria now up behind David Larini, the second generation racer. Made his debut in year series at Imola, where his father took a very famous, or perhaps infamous, with all respect, second place for Ferrari in the 1994 San Marino Formula 1 Grand Prix at Imola. David Larini for the AKM Motorsport team. They're already down a car. That spectacular rollover for Tina Hausman, if you're just joining us. She went end for end after it. contact with Rafael Marak, who's still stuck down in pit lane. Aurelien Nobels now on the back of Kim Hwa-ring. Now the battle is finally starting to heat up. And just in the background, Jack Beaton gets it sideways. Aurelien Nobels, there is Alfio Spinner just ahead fighting with John Marco Pradell. And ahead, it's VK in car 10, position 9, Valentin Klus. The header, second in the WSK Supermasters Kart Racing Series for the Kart Republic team a couple of seasons ago. Frustrated is the Alpine F1 Junior as we look at Pradell on the back of the German, Valentin Klus. Right behind is the Sicilian Alfio Spinner. Locks up the brakes. Does the multiple WSK Kart Racing champion. And behind Kim Hwa-ring runs wide. The South Korean who was back home at the Korea International Circuit, racing in a TCR touring car, back with us the Swiss team in the Italian Championship. Kim Hwa-ring just outside the top 10 as we look at this battle rage on. Aurelia trying to take the South Korean. Valentina Klus fighting to hold off the Sydney sider. Watch out for Il Siciliano. Alfio, position 2 in the final race at Imola a fortnight ago, but at the moment he's outside the top 10. John Marco Pradell's in it. We go back to Kim. There's Aurelia from Ivan, Matthias Verheera, Ricky Lou, Jack Beaton, and James Agozzi. Aurelien Nobels so close to the back of car 17. And the two Portuguese-speaking drivers, well, the three of them now on screen. Ivan Dominguez, the American-born Brazilian-Belgian, and she's about to be passed by her countryman, Matthias Verheera, with an aggressive move. They go side by side. And Aurelia still holds off Matthias for the moment. Frustrated is Verheera, back in position 15. This is Klus, Pradell, Spinner. A lock-up from Aurelien Nobels. She'll go wide at the exit of turn 8. Matthias Verheera tries the inside, which now becomes the outside. Klus defending from Pradell. Spinner, Kim Hwa-ring. They're 3 wide as they all lock up. Ricky Lou, the driver from the People's Republic of China, also in this battle as well. Klus, they go wheel to wheel. Pradell on the outside, can he hold his own? The next corner goes right, and he finally has to lift. Watch him cut back on the inside. The circuit ever so slightly banked and cambered. It's enough for the Australian to get a tighter line. Fabulous racing in the first of 3 races here at Misano. The German from the Australian, there's the Sicilian, swarming all over the back of them. This is for the final positions inside the top 10. Out front, Tappinen has withstood the challenge for the moment from Lindblad. He's 0.6 of a second ahead of the Englishman and James Wharton, P3. Kim Hwa-ring for the Jensen Motorsport team. Don't forget, Andrea and Esther Jensen's team, they took the title in 2016 with the Argentine Marcus Siebert. At the moment, Kim Hwa-ring, the South Korean, P12, Dominguez, Verheera, Agozzi, Beaton, Frasinetti. And the tie goes by. It's Bitombaki in P18. Down into La Quercia. A big dive down the inside, goes wheel to wheel. Fabulous racing and good respect from the 2 drivers for both the German teams. PHM with Valentin Klus. Watch Spinner in the background. He'll get a tremendous run coming onto the back straight. Pradell will not. He'll be slow on the exit. As we see Aurelien Nobels, she's parked 16 in pit lane. Contact with Ricky Lou, and that has put the Ferrari Junior out. Spinner, watch him in the background. He'll cut back on the inside. Pradell tries the outside. Valentin Klus covers the both of them. Spinner tries the high line. What a move, but he runs out of road. Holds on to it, but Pradell still in position 11. The final points inside the top 10. There is Dominguez going wide. That gives opportunity for Kim Hwa-ring and Matthias Verheera. down into the Rio curves, the dying stages of race 1 here at Misano. Fastest lap of the race still set by Ivan Dominguez on lap 10 at 1:35.299. As we see Kim go wide, and the South Korean now finally loses 2 positions. James Zagotzi goes on through, as does Matthias Verheera. Big crash between Verheera, who loses the front wing in the dying stages. They were racing superbly up until this point. Verheera, his race is now effectively over. Verheera drops down the order, and this is the reason why. Runs wide on the exit, over the ribbon strip, so no contact with James Zagotzi. And the newly crowned WSK Supermaster Series champion, the American, goes on by the Brazilian. Matthias Verheera loses the front wing. His race is now effectively over. This is now Rashid, who's closed up on the back of the American Hugo Ugachuko. Brando Badoer, car 15. Kasper Stuka in P4, but still the Prema trio 1, 2 and 3. 0.56 of a second between Tappan and Lindblad. And another half a second plus back to James Wharton, who's looking at another podium, but he will not stand on the top step unless something spectacular happens in the final stages of race 1 of 3. Round 2, the Italian F4 Championship here at Misano on the Adriatic coast, the eastern side of northern Italy. Into La Quercia, and the gap pulling out slightly between Arvid Lindblad and James Wharton. Tuukka Tappinen from pole position, as you heard him speak to Lara. A difficult question posed by our pit reporter Laura Cola. A disappointing end to race 3, or race 4 in fact it was at Imola. A crash under safety car conditions, but boy, that Finn has fought back superbly from pole position. The Ferrari Junior seems headed to victory. We just crossed the 30-minute mark right now, which means the last lap will start in 3 corners time. Kasper P4. Still good points for the championship. Don't forget race 2 to take place later on this evening. A beautiful sunset here, 5:30 local time in the north of Italy. Almost under lights as we race this ACI racing weekend together with the Italian GT3 and Sprint Championship. The Prema Power Team down on pit wall. Emanuele Piero, the 5-time Le Mans 24-hour race winner, down with the red team. Team engineer Alessandro Vantini on the wall, doing a superb job controlling the strategy is young Alessandro. And it looks as though the team from Vicenza are about to finish 1, 2 and 3. This is the last lap of the race. Now Lindblad closes up on the back of Tuukka Tappinen, car 8 from P1. From pole position, runs wide. Arvid follows him through. Wharton is too far back. The gap is out to 1.3 seconds between the Englishman and the Australian. Now Lindblad. Has he got something less left on this, the final lap of the race? Wharton now trying to hold on to the final step of the podium. Stuka, Badoer, Ugachuko and Rashid Al-Dahedi. They race down the back straight for the final time. Surely Tuukka, the 2021 World Cup racing champion for the Tony Kart racing team, is about to take victory here for the Prema Power Team. Lindblad closes up on the back of the Finn. On the day that King Charles will be officially crowned king of his England, Lindblad will come up one short, but the Finn, Tuukka Tappinen, the Ferrari Junior accelerates that chicken flag race. From pole position, Tuukka Tappinen wins race 1 here at Misano. Lindblad in position 2, and Jimmy James Wharton makes it a Prema Power Team 1, 2 and 3. A crushing performance for the team from Vicenza. Tappinen breaks through for his maiden victory in the Italian Series, finished as vice champion to James Wharton in the season opening UAE series. But he's gone one better here, finishing P1. The Ferrari Junior from Finland, where it is still snowing, we believe. Unlike the beautiful sunshine here we've got at the Misano Circuit. Tappinen wins, Lindblad 2, and James Wharton in third place. Controlled the pace after that safety car intervention as well. Kasper Stuka, position 4, actually got fastest lap of the race as well. On the penultimate lap, a 1:35.281. But misses the podium by a single position. A crushing performance for the Prema Power team. They're back on top. They took the title with Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 2022, who is here at the circuit this weekend, watching on his former team as he races in the Italian GT3 Championship. The Mercedes Junior in a Mercedes AMG GT3 this weekend at Misano. Amongst the interested spectators down on pit wall, his former team have come 1, 2, 3 in the opening of 3 races here at Misano. Tappinen takes the victory. Lindblad closed up in the final stages, but the Brit P2, the Australian P3 Kasper with the fastest lap of the race, the first non-Prema car. Brundle P5, good points for the Italian for the championship. Ugo Rashid P7 from La Corte. John Marco Pradel P9 gets the better of Valentin Klus in the dying stages. Dominguez, spinner from grid 20. Agozzi beaten Birambakti. Frassinetti, what a comeback for the BVM Racing Team driver. After that big crash at Imola, Isha Lorini blocking up. Victoria ahead of Manuel Quandam Carlo, Ismail Ahmed. Quintarelli after an excursion into the gravel. Ariel Elkin, Luchetti, Kim were amongst the retirements as Arvid Lindblad cements his lead in the championship. Arvid Lindblad closed right up at Tuukka Tappinen. The Ferrari Junior had that one under control. He takes his breakthrough maiden victory in the Italian F4 Championship for 2023. Quickly trying to rack my brains if there's been a Finnish victory in the Italian series since its inception. I'm sure there was. I'm sure some of you are screaming at me to say, what about? I'll get back to you for race 2. For the moment, the Finn Tuukka Tappinen takes victory. James Wharton, P3. Arvid Lindblad in second place for the Red Bull Junior, but the race winner, Tuukka Tappinen, is speaking to Laura.
So you dominated the race, so first important victory for you.
Yeah, that was a good race. I was managing the gap to the back and trying to save the tires as much as possible and doing without mistakes, so that was quite good run.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kiitos Tuukka as we take a look at the highlights from race 1 from pole position. A good start though from Arvid Lindblad, who shadowed his teammate down into the Rio curves for the first time. Good start from Kasper Stuka, who went wheel to wheel. Went by Brundle Badouet at the very first corner. And for the most part, it was a clean start to the first of 3 races here this weekend at Misano. Lindblad swarming all over the back of his teammate in the early stages. It was the Prema Power team 1, 2, 3 and 4. Brundle soon worked his way by into 4th place. This was a monster crash for Tina Hausmann, making contact with Rafael Narak. A frightening crash. But fortunately, the Swiss driver was okay. Back green, and Tuukka Tappinen. The gap was 9/10 of a second. And as the drivers behind fought, he pulled away. Once again, Tuukka Tappinen had to establish the lead. Guido Luchetti, the rookie, going right around, avoiding everything. Matteo Quintarelli did not. And the Dubai-based Italian for RSGP was in the grass. Tuukka Tappinen, with that leader rotor behind the safety car, had to build it up once again. Fabulous fighting further back in the back. Ivan Dominguez Aureliana Bells and her countryman Matthias Verheerder losing the front wing at the exit of turn 7. Out front, Tuka withstood the last lap attack from Lindblad. It was a Prema 1, 2 and 3. The Finn from the Englishman with the Australian third. Better run for James Wharton, who's now 10th in the championship on 25 points, a single 5th place. 10th place in the DNF at Imola for the United Arab Emirates F4 Championship. Still one of the championship favourites, and his title attack is back on track. The Australian finishes in P3 here at Misano. Arvid Lindblad cements his lead in the championship, 79 points now. He leads from Nicola Lacorte, who's still P2 in the series on 56 points, with a second place here in race 1 at Misano. Don't forget, at 5:30 this afternoon, race 2 of the Italian Championship, and the Londoner Lindblad will start from pole position. He's made a breakthrough victory, the Ferrari Junior from Finland, where it is still snowing, unlike the beautiful sunshine we've got here at Misano. Tuukka Taponen, the Ferrari Junior, wins race 1 here at Misano. Mr. Giancarlo Minardi, whose former team in the Formula 1 World Championship, bearing his own name, is only about half an hour's drive from this Misano circuit, presents the trophies to 3rd place James, 2nd place Arvid, and Tuukka Taponen, the Finn, wins here in Misano. And that's the winning team's trophy. Just throw it over the balcony there, Giancarlo. Prema 1, 2 and 3. And they're already looking good once again in the early stage of the season. The national anthem of Finland. A crushing victory for the Prema Power team. But the other teams have got all of about 4 or 5 hours to regroup as we fight for race 2 or 3 here this weekend at Misano. That takes place at 5:30 local time. For the moment, Tuukka Taponen has taken his breakthrough victory in race 1. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll see you for race 2 at 5:30 this evening, live from Misano.